Hi, I'm Nick Faviano, and by now you probably know that I'm a marketing manager for a large automotive group, and I handle our dealerships on the East Coast. However, what you may not know is that shortly after graduating college, I participated in the Disney College program on an internship, and I was always interested in customer communications and engagement and building a positive customer experience. And working at Walt Disney World definitely helped me gain the insight and knowledge to be able to cultivate those skills. Fast forward a few years, and I accepted a position at Lithium Motors, which is where I currently work now. And at this point, I thought I knew everything there was to know about customer communications and engagement and building a positive customer experience. I was comfortable in my role supporting marketing strategies at the stores, and I was receiving very positive feedback from store leadership at these stores. And that's important because store managers and store leadership are basically my internal clients. So you know the saying that no good deed goes unnoticed? Well, my boss, who's the director of marketing, started receiving all this great feedback from my stores, and he eventually asked me to take on additional stores. Now, these weren't stores that were already part of our automotive group. These were stores that we had just acquired, and I heard through the grapevine that their group vice president had a reputation of being very hard to deal with. So needless to say, I was reluctant in taking on this challenge. My current stores were all very high-performing stores. Things were going very smoothly. They already knew our processes and our strategies, and we worked very well together. I was afraid that taking on these additional stores would take time away from my current stores that were already operating very smoothly and very high-performing. So my boss, the director of marketing, eventually convinced me to take on these stores and said it would be a great opportunity. He presented it in a way that basically said that it would allow me the opportunity to build a better relationship with these newly acquired stores while bringing them onto our processes and having them learn about our strategy and making them a part of our automotive group. So since at that time, of course, I thought I knew everything there was to know already about customer engagement and communications and positive customer experiences, I agreed to take on that challenge. And needless to say, I quickly learned that there was definitely a lot that I still had to learn. So I later found myself in uncharted territory, basically. I went from being the guy that all of my stores went to if there was an issue or for support, to eventually with these new groups and these new store leadership and dealerships, I ended up being the guy that everybody wanted to avoid. In particular, the group vice president didn't seem very interested in building a relationship with me. To them, I basically represented change. I represented a new way of doing things, something that they weren't used to, a change in their process, a change in their strategy, and they were very reluctant to make those changes. I was basically met with challenges every step of the way, and the stores continued to operate in the way that they had been, which unfortunately meant that they didn't start to increase their sales and meet their sales goals. They basically disregarded my recommendations and kept operating the way that they had been before they were acquired by my dealership group. So fast forward another 3 to 6 months, and that came time for my mid-year performance. So this performance review included a 360 feedback report, which was comprised of reviews from both store management and the group vice presidents that covered those stores. So as I was expecting, my reviews from my original group of stores were very good, and I received very positive feedback from them. However, the reviews from these newly acquired stores, and in particular the group vice president, was very poor. It was definitely less than great, I would say. So I was extremely disappointed in the feedback that I received from these new stores and the group vice president. So I reached out to my boss for guidance. And remember, this is the same boss that convinced me to take on these stores in the first place and presented it as a great opportunity for me. So through the course of several meetings with my boss, we established that the root cause of the issues I was having with them was lack of communication. And I hadn't developed the client relationship with the store's group vice president that was necessary to cultivate a positive relationship. Remember, I had this preconceived notion about him that he was hard to deal with. So to my own fault, I didn't take initiative to really cultivate that relationship, and I thought that he didn't want to partake in our marketing meetings. What I didn't know was that, he actually didn't know that his stores were pushing back on some of my ideas, and had he known or been invited to our marketing meetings, because I wasn't inviting him because I had that preconceived notion that he didn't want to come. Had he had known that I was receiving pushback from these stores on certain ideas, he would have been able to help steer those stores down a preferred marketing path. So once we uncovered the root cause of the problem, my boss provided some guidelines on how I should develop this relationship moving forward with the group vice president. Basically, we realized that it was all about effectively communicating with the GVP. So that being said, I put together the following action plan. I started inviting the GVP to my store meetings. I started copying him on my store meeting recaps. I started sending him monthly updates on some of our focus stores that were underperforming. I started meeting with him monthly to discuss opportunities at select stores, and I increased my presence in select stores that the group vice president was close with. So through this new communication plan, I saw many results, including the following. Inviting the GVP to my store meetings ensured that he knew that I was actually doing my job and being proactive every month while meeting with the stores to discuss their performance and marketing strategy. Copying the GVP on my store meeting recaps, even if he didn't attend the meeting, ensured that he was up to date on all of our marketing strategies and marketing efforts every single month. Having the GVP more involved in select focus stores definitely helped steer the store leaders down a preferred marketing path that would generate the best ROI. So my job is to provide the best marketing recommendations that I can for store leadership. However, within our company, store leadership has the autonomy to make their own decisions. So I can't just come in at the corporate level and force them to do a certain marketing tactic or agree with any of my recommendations. They have the autonomy to make their own decisions. However, the group vice president is actually their boss. So he has a little bit more leverage than I do to help steer a store down, as I mentioned before, a preferred marketing path that would generate, the best possible ROI for their investment. I also increased my presence at select stores that the GVP was close with the intention of winning over his people. Winning over some of the store managers and store leadership that the GVP was close with definitely helped cultivate a better relationship and allowed me to gain favor with the group vice president. So at this point, I'm now armed with the knowledge that I gained from this experience, And I realized that avoiding someone that I had heard was hard to deal with was definitely not the right way to approach the situation. This just fostered the misconceptions that existed based off of poorly based assumptions. In reality, I needed to increase my communications with the GVP and with these store leaders in order to build an effective client relationship with them. I'm very happy that my efforts paid off, and later that year, I ended up being promoted. I definitely learned a lot of valuable lessons from this experience that I'll for sure use in the future. And I would like to share these with you in case any of you are working towards building a better working relationship in your lives. Number one, I would say don't shy away from a challenge, even if it's out of your comfort zone. These are often the best opportunities for a learning experience, such as the one that I had. Don't let preconceived notions negatively impact your relationship with somebody, even before it begins. The more communication, the better when building a new relationship. Don't assume that someone knows what you're doing, because after all, we're not mind readers. Having regular touch points with the people that you're trying to build a better relationship with are also very important to ensure that you both stay on the same page and there's no misconceptions. Lastly, I believe that face-to-face communication was very valuable in this situation when feasible. So face-to-face communication provides many benefits, some of which include making it easier to convince people, fostering more team participation. It's often quicker and more effective, and it definitely helps build stronger communications between both parties. So increasing my engagement and communication with the group vice president through the methods that I described was crucial to building a better partnership between both of our parties. In addition to that, I now have higher morale, and I'm better able to cultivate more creative marketing strategies for my dealerships. Thank you.